morning, good afternoon, or good evening. This is Pamela, and you are watching Pam Entertainment TV, where we review movies, television series, and incidents in pop culture. To see how those incidents may or may not affect our daily lives. Listen, we are about to get into it. I always tell y'all, sometimes it's easier for me to go live unannounced than it is for me to do this recorded video. I can get it up, get it out, and get it going. All right. If you want to support this channel for the free, please hit that like button and also subscribe. And once you subscribe, you'll be open to a plethora of movies, television series that I have reviewed. And also you'll be open to the pop culture chats that I had. I had a pop culture chat yesterday talking about Mr. Bo DeMaio and all of his accusations that he hurled at Marvel. So go check that video out. That is a good key if you want to listen to that. So let's get into this. So we're recapping episode 9 and episode 10 of Bel Air. Let me see if I get right. Family Matters and Save the Best for Last. I believe that's the names of the titles of the episodes. Now, there is a new show coming on Peacock called The Fight Night. And apparently it is debuting on Thursdays along with Bel Air. And I'm wondering, was that the reason why this schedule was so accelerated? Because they're coming out episode by episode. I think they dropped 3 or 4 episodes today. I'm going to check it out. I'm going to review it. But they dropped about 3 or 4 episodes today. And then I think these are the last 2 episodes of season 3 for Bel Air. I see it's just 9 and 10. I think there are 2 more, but I'm not sure. I think that it's probably the last 2 episodes. And I think maybe that was the reason to accelerate. Yeah, it's 10 episodes. Each season had 10 episodes. So these 2 are the last 2 episodes. And I'm thinking that was the reason why they were accelerating. And if that was the case, they should have kept Bel Air on Wednesday night, because you remember, I think the last 2 seasons or the first season, it was on Wednesday. It wasn't on Thursday. It was on Wednesday night. They should have kept that schedule, and you would have had 2 days of people tuning in. You'll have people tuning in on Wednesday for Bel Air, and you would have had 2 people tuning in on Thursday for Fight Night. I think that was really crazy to accelerate that. I guess they were thinking, oh, we're going to get all the Bel Air people to watch this. But I just saw the what do you call that? The white red carpet affair for Fight Night, because there's a lot of people in there. I think Chloe's in it. I see that Taraji P. Henson is in it. I see that Samuel Jackson's in it. I see Kevin Hart is in this movie. Don Cheadle. There's a lot of people in this particular movie, and it's fine. But it was no need to accelerate this particular show to bring that show up. It wasn't necessary. You could have kept, like I said, you could have kept Bel Air on the Wednesday schedule that it was. I remember the first season, and I think last season it was on Wednesday, instead of moving it to Thursday, and to push it, to accelerate it to the point that you pushed it out of way for this new series of Fight Night to come out. And like I said, it didn't make any sense. Again, it is about engagement. We get really good engagement from reviewing Bel Air, and I don't know why NBC thought that it was just okay to just dump it like they did. Because if that was the case, you should have just dumped all the episodes the first week it was out. But anyway, excuse me, let me move that back. So let's get into episode 9 and 10. And the way I'm going to do these 2 episodes is going to talk character by character. So let's get into Hillary, because Hillary seemed to be the character that shined these 2 episodes for me the most. So she's preparing for her wedding. And in her parts of preparing for her wedding, she sees Jazz. She sees Jazz with the councilman woman. And that's not Yvonne Orji, is it? Because she sure looks like Yvonne Orji to me. And I want to stop calling this woman Yvonne Orji if that's not her name. Because initially that's who I thought it was. And when I look at her again, I was like, that doesn't look like Yvonne Orji. She has similar features of Yvonne Orji, but that doesn't look like her. So I really want to just really quickly to go to IMDb and see if they will. But anyway, we're talking about Hillary. And she sees Jazz with this young man and with this young lady, and she is taken aback. She's like, she's not, she's different from the other girls. She seems like somebody that you would be in it for the long haul. Let me see if we've got Mira. Okay. Her name is Alika Walker. Yolanda Porter is the character, but her name is Alika. I've been calling her Yvonne Orgy, and it's not even Yvonne Orgy. My bad. My bad. So Hillary sees Jazz with him, and then she's feeling some kind of way. She goes over to Jazz's house. They have a one last hurrah. She goes over there. They spend the night. There is no sexual encounter. They're just talking. They're being Hillary and Jazz as we've known them to be Hillary and Jazz. They've always had great communication. They always seem to be dialed into the same types of stuff. They can talk and all this other stuff. So that's what they did. Smoked a little weed, talked. She got up the next morning and she left. However, when she left at home, she messed around and left her engagement ring over there. So as we see her at the house, she's struggling and trying to figure out where this engagement ring was. She don't know where her engagement ring is, and people ask her about it. And her fiance asked her about it. Lamarcus, he asked her about it, and she tries to She said it was being cleaned. Now Hillary, you were wrong for that. You were so wrong for that. She told him that it was being cleaned. Everybody believed them. All kinds of things going on. So we get to Martha's Vineyard. They get to Martha's Vineyard. She's sick because she can't find this engagement ring. Jazz is at home. He's getting ready to go out for the day. He goes and he puts on his shoes. He puts his foot in. His foot hurts. He pulls his foot out and he sees the ring. He calls Will. He says, please tell me you all have not left for Martha's Vineyard yet. He says, we are already here and it is beautiful. And he's like, you got to tell Hillary that she left her ring at the house. Everybody is freaking out. So Ivy gets on the phone and she tells Jazz, you need to take the first plane smoking. I'll pay for it for you to get here to give her that ring. We need that engagement ring. We need it and we need it now. So Jazz is looking at it and he's like, you know what? If I pawn this ring, this will solve all my problems. And I'm like, Jazz, don't pawn the girl. Don't pawn the girl's ring. Don't do her like that. So he brings the ring. Everything is going smoothly. You know, he's like, I don't know if I can let you get married. And I thought he was gonna say, I'm not gonna let you get married. I don't think you should marry Lamar. But that's not what he did. He just said, I don't think you should get married without your wedding ring. Because Hillary was sure she loves Lamarcus and she wants to get married to Lamarcus. She had to purge old Jazz out of her system. But it's not going to be long, y'all. Anyway. As they were trying to sneak old Jazz out of the house, Lamarcus comes out into the vestibule and he sees Jazz and he's pissed off, and rightfully so, because there was no reason why they should have been lingering that long, and there was really no reason for Hillary to have walked them out, because Will snuck him in and he should have snuck him right back out. So anyway, let's continue. So Lamarcus sees them, and then, you know, Hillary has to come clean with Lamarcus. Lamarcus gets upset and he leaves. And then Ivy went into Mission Impossible, honey. It was like, find Lamarcus and find him quick, because that green groom needs to come before, you know, everything hits the fan and we have to tell people that we got a runaway groom. So Will and Ashley, they go out, because that was cute for her, because she is technically the maid of honor. So she went out to go find him, and she talked to him, and she basically told him, you know, I was really Team Jazz. I'm just letting you know I'm Team Jazz. Always been Team Jazz. And he's like, well, what are you doing here? She said, because my sister loves you. Whether I'm Team Jazz or not, that doesn't matter. My sister loves you, and she wants to marry you, and you need to get back to wherever it is you need to go to. So they talked to him. And then they call Ivy to let him know where he was. Hillary comes. She talks to him. She confesses, she tells everything, but she says she wants to meet him at the altar. So, meet her at the altar. So she goes back, she has all the wedding plans continue to go through. Everything starts, the bridesmaids and the groomsmen, they come down the aisle, they don't see Lamarcus. His parents come down the aisle, they don't see Lamarcus. And so Uncle Phil is back in the back, and that dress, this is a Coco Jones stand page. There will be no slander on Coco Jones. She looked so beautiful in that dress. I mean, when I looked at it, I was like, I don't know about it, but she pulled it off. She's statuesque enough to pull it off. Everything looked good. Her hair looked good. Everything. Shout out to Coco Jones, and shout out to the dress, and shout out to all of them, because she looked very beautiful. So Lamarcus showed up. They get married. They party. They have a really good time. Everybody is happy. And then they go to the Turks and Caicos, because that's where they're honeymooning. And apparently they've been at the Turks and Caicos, they've been, honeymooning, consummating the marriage and all of those whatnots. And they have not gone out to explore Turks and Caicos and all that other stuff, because they have just pretty much been in the bed. So Hillary, explains to Lamarcus that she wants to explore Turks and Caicos. And he's like, okay, fine. She says, you're going to get out of the bed. He's like, no problem. And he says, but I want another mimosa. So she gets up, and I don't know why the mimosa is as far away as it is, but she goes over there and she's still talking to him. She's like, oh man, we should rent a yacht. We should do this. We should do that. We should do this. We should do that. She comes back to the bed, and Lamarcus is passed out. I'm assuming that he's passed out. I don't want to say that he croaked out on their honeymoon. I hope that he just passed out, and they have to go get him some help, and he passed out. But at the end, that's what happened. He has passed out. So let's get back to, and that pretty much was the end of the storyline as far as with Hillary is concerned. Jazz was at the wedding. I wanted to mention this so I can go ahead and round him out. He was at the wedding, and you know how they ask if there's anyone who opposes the marriage, and they all look back, because everybody, the main characters knew that Jazz was there, and Jazz didn't pop out. Jazz didn't pop out until after they said I do, and he just kind of looked, and he just kind of walked away. So for him, I guess that was his closure as well. So let's go back. Let's hit this Jeffrey storyline, because remember I told you something about Penelope rubs me the wrong way. Something about Penelope rubs me the wrong way. When we find out that, you remember how Jeffrey, a couple of episodes, tried to get out of the gang again, the organization, let's call it that, by paying all that money that he had in his punching bag. And that didn't work. And so the people in the organization sent some people to beat up his son, Frederick, because they're saying that if Jeffrey doesn't come and run the organization, we're going to jump in Frederick to do it. But let me tell it, Frederick and Penelope are already in. They're playing a scam. They want him to come back because of the clout that Jeffrey has. They know that Jeffrey has that type of clout, because if he got enough to be able to prune the head of the organization off the timeline, that is something those people who they want to be able to follow that person. He's organized, he's cunning, he's all of these things, and he has the ability to bring back that organization back up to its prominence. And so I think that all of this has been calculated to beat up Frederick. It was, to me, to beat up Frederick to get him to come back. But once she realized that there was an opportunity, that, hey, he was like, we can get out of this. We could go somewhere, but we have to be calculated. We got to do things in a hurry. We can't dawdle or anything, and we can leave and be a family. And I think for Penelope, that was stronger than whatever it is the organization wanted her to do. And so that's what they did. Jeffrey was very cunning. He went about his work. He did everything. And I guess while he was gone, Penelope made sure that the house was broken down, that everything was moved, and if there was stuff that could be donated, it was donated. Because we find that out, and I'll tell you what's going on in a minute. So they go to the wedding. Well, Jeffrey goes to the wedding. He does his duties, but he leaves Uncle Phil a note, and Uncle Phil finds it up under some of his papers on the thing that said he's gone. Will goes over there, and he realizes that he's gone. Everything is gone. Jeffrey is gone. They are out in the wind. So I bet you Jeffrey never did come back from the trip. I bet you wherever it is that Penelope and Frederick went, he left Martha's Vineyard and went there. So Jeffrey is out in the wind, and he probably has 2 or 3 different passports and all kinds of stuff going on anyway. So Jeffrey is out. Jeffrey is completely out in the wind, and we don't know where Jeffrey is. But the organization doesn't like that. They see Will coming out of the apartment, and again, the issue that I have about Will, I don't know what reason he went to go see Jeffrey. I can't remember what the reason he went to go see Jeffrey. But Will just does not want to mind the business that pays him. He just doesn't. So he went over there, and then the people done kidnapped Will, and Will is gone. Let's get to, who do we want to talk about? Rehab Bay. Let's go ahead and end her story real quick. So we find out, Rehab Bay is in isolation at her mom's house. Her mom is not letting her get out. And Carlton goes over there pretty much every day to try to talk to her and give her gifts and all kinds of stuff like that. So Rehab Bay's mother comes out and she says, Carlton, we don't have anything against you. It's just that she needs to be by herself. We don't need for you to be coming over, all of this stuff. And so Carlton was like, well, okay, I understand, because of the fact that, this is probably a really rough time of year for you all. And she was like, rough time of year. She says, Carlton, Amira told me that it was a rough time. She said, what did Amira tell you? I told y'all Rehab Bay was a big old lie. It had nothing to do. She didn't have no sister that died in no car crash. What has happened is Amira was driving and there was an accident. She hit the other car. The driver of the other car passed away. Amira got addicted to painkillers, and then from her addiction to painkillers, that's how she got on the booger sugar and all of this other stuff. So, and she's traumatized. So it all happened around this year. So she's traumatized from that. So her addiction is coming from trauma, from an accident. So this is why she's addicted, which was very interesting. And because when we see now with the falls of addiction, it's no longer recreational. Like you start taking booger sugar because you out in the club and stuff, like the people like my folks them did back in the 70s. They'd go out to a club. Booger sugar was recreational. Same thing with marijuana and all those different things. People would take that stuff and they'd take it on the weekend, because that's where the term like weekend drunks or weekend partiers came from, because those folks back in the day, they could drink you up under the table from Friday to Sunday morning. And then when Monday morning came, they recovered on Sunday. When Monday morning came, they went back out to work and did whatever. And, and they never did classify that as alcoholism or narcotic abuse or anything like that. Is because they only spent those 2 days, Friday and Saturday, really turning it up. But now we understand with more knowledge and more education that those people were addicts. And after a while, all the alcohol that they were taking was messing up their systems. And, they were smoking and they were drinking, and then some people were doing the booger sugar. So you had a lot of people with kidney problems, liver problems, all kinds of stuff like that, emphysema, and all those different types of things. So, but I mentioned that just to say that now we have a lot of people who are strung out on drugs because they started off with some type of pain, back pain, people having back pain, people coming out of surgery for back pain, people having, being in accidents or anything like that. And they're giving these particular drugs to help them with the pain. And then they become addicted to it. And now you've got such a big, there is so many checks and balances in the way, because y'all think about it. 10, 12 years ago, you could get a prescription for these drugs and you go back and, it'd be like, they would do 90 days, 6 months or whatever. You should be able to get a big prescription on them. And now, like these drugs, you can only get them for 30 days. You got to come back and get renewed for another 30 days. there's a whole lot of checks and balances going on. But before there weren't, you know, people were able to sell those drugs. People were able to get more drugs and go because your insurance were only probably paid for one portion. When people were going to the store and purchasing those drugs, and I'm quite sure, what was it? Some of those drugs were like $2 a pill, and they were getting 30 or 40 pills a pop. You know, it still is a mess. But I'm just saying, it was interesting how they made that route. How her gateway into was because of pain. So she's going to a rehab in Boston that specializes with drug addiction from trauma, because she had trauma. So they had some kind of family and friends day at the Narcotics Anonymous. Everybody said a nice thing about Amira because she relapsed. I guess that's a special ceremony that they do when one of the people that are there that relapse. They had a little ceremony. Everybody talked about Amira, because what I will say is even though I felt like she was being a little conniving, I was impressed to hear that from everybody else's point of view. Even though she did do that, you know, Will said she called him out on his stuff. Carlton said she made him be able to make decisions and to stand in his stuff. Same thing with what is that girl's name? Lisa. The same thing with Lisa. She made it a point to tell Lisa, you gotta stop letting people dump stuff on you. Stop letting people dump on you. And I think that was a wonderful thing for all of them to understand that that was something that Amira did, and they saw Amira off to go to Boston. So I'm not sure, she may be back next year. I don't know where Jackie went, child. The last time we saw I mean, I don't know where Jackie at. Jackie didn't make an appearance. She didn't find a way to get to Martha's Vineyard, but Jackie didn't make an appearance. So I don't know if Jackie's going to start going to Bel Air. I don't know if Amira is going to start going to Bel Air. I don't know, because this is going to be their senior year. So I don't know exactly what's going on. And I don't even know is Jackie still in school? I'm not sure. It looked like she was a senior. I think she's still in school, because she wants to go to Juilliard. And so she was doing a thing. I think Jackie is probably gone, and Jackie's probably gone to Juilliard at this point, because we're ending out the summer. Will, Carlton, let's talk about Blacksess real quick. So while Carlton was spiraling with Amira, Will made a decision because he had given up on Blacksess. Will made a decision to find an investor. He picked an investor. Come to find out, you remember that guy that Will and Carlton that exposed Carlton for allowing for the white kids to say the N-word around them, all freely. What was his name? Because he liked Lisa. Oh, I can't think of what his name, but anyway. His father was the one that invested into Blacksess, and he wanted him to be the go-between, you know, to help to build this brand and everything. And Carlton thought it was going to be Will and this guy clashing, but it ended up to be Carlton and the guy clashing, because he came around and he started changing all of the stuff. He started changing everything and changing the logo. He didn't like the logo. He didn't like a lot of stuff. Let me find him really quick so I can get his name. We didn't see anything from Will's father. We saw his mother, and his mother is dating. Just really quick, Will's mother is dating, and Will has accepted the fact that his mother is dating. Good for him. Good for him. Oh, I don't see him. I don't know why I want to think his name is Terrence. I think that was his father's name. I don't see him, and he's so far down. Looks like he is so far down on IMDb that I can't see him. And it doesn't really matter at this point what his name is, but they all worked it out and figured out that in order for Blacksess to be the best business that it needs to be, all three of them are going to have to work together. They're going to have meetings together. They're going to have to sit down and talk about the plans. They're going to have to effectively run a business. And so they made the decision to let bygones be bygones. They're going to work on Black Cess. We're good with that. Lisa, Aunt Viv ended up having a more meaningful conversation with her father. Her father realized that Lisa was going through a lot and had a lot of stuff on her plate. He told Aunt Viv that he appreciated her, and that he was going to make sure that his wife got some help so that Lisa would have less on her plate, so Lisa can go and do the things that Lisa wants to be able to do, like swim and all that other stuff. He was like, I wasn't aware that she was dealing with all these issues with her friends, with the mirror and all this other stuff. But and Aunt Viv basically said, that's why I'm here. I'm going to make sure that she's okay, and I'll be here to help you with your wife if you need it. It takes a village. We need to do that. Now, let's get into the meat and potatoes of the stuff that we wanted to talk about. I want to talk about, because you remember the last episode we left off with Homeboy setting that fire to that to Omar construction, Gus from construction. That's what I call him, but his name is Omar. We left off with that going on, and then Will went to and then they arrested Jazz. So Will and the Yolanda, that's her name. Yolanda came. It was Will and Hillary that went to go bail him out, because Hillary was the adult, so she can sign for it. So, but Will had the money, because that's what he said that Black Cess does. That's part of helping businesses and stuff like that. So they got the money to be able to pay his bail. Baby, as soon as Jazz's foot hit freedom, here comes Yolanda. Oh my gosh, I'm going to take you home. I knew you were getting out. Da 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 this, da 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 this. And that's where Hillary saw that, hey, something is a little bit more to this woman, to Jazz. And Jazz basically said, yeah, because, we grew up together, and all of this stuff, just like Hillary and Lamarcus. And that's why, and that was the scene that caused for Hillary to want to have that one last night with Jazz. But anyway, so let's wrap that storyline up. Basically what happened, Will went to I was about to say Hillary. Carlton basically ratted Will out that he was there at that place. So I guess Uncle Fielder made up a plan, like, you go to the DA and you tell the DA everything that you know and everything that happened. And so he did do that. And it ended up that Will didn't get any trouble, that Jazz didn't get any trouble, simply because Omar, the construction man, decided not to press charges. Also, because when Will went to talk to the DA, he didn't have his parents present or an attorney. So therefore, everything that he said, they could use it, but they couldn't charge him for anything because of the fact that he didn't have proper representation and all this other stuff. So it ended up that everybody was okay. Uncle Phil had this big plan. He got the community together, and he got a lot of his fraternity brothers, community leaders, football players, all of these people coming in and wanting to invest into the community. So Omar is still going to do the construction, and the community leaders and all that other stuff in the community, everybody's going to have a stake in it, and they're going to all make sure that they keep the little mom and pop businesses, making sure that they get the loans or the grants or whatever they need to be able to stay in business, and all this other stuff. So it was a really nice big plan. His firm is right there in the middle of it. Omar is happy about it. Everybody is happy. Everybody is safe. Everybody is great. So those were basically, like I said, I'm not going to go over everything. Oh, Miss Ashley. I almost forgot about Miss Ashley, because I've been rooting for her all summer, even though her mouth is slick, but I have been rooting for her all summer. But she done found her a boo. And she's having her, her little summer romance. I don't know if he goes to her school or not, or what school he goes to, but apparently his folks is just as rich, because he was down there at Martha's Vineyard. And she's very excited about the fact that she has somebody that she connects with. So I'm glad about that. But at the ending of episode 10, Aunt Viv went and did a pregnancy test, and baby, it looks like we finna have a little old baby come through here. So next season, we're gonna have us a little old baby. So what did you all think about this whole season? Again, as I'm looking through the web, as I'm looking on here, on the website, it looks like every time everything is always 10 episodes. If you see it, you see season 1 was 10 episodes, season 2 was 10 episodes, season 3 is 10 episodes. So I'm thinking that this was season ending. So we figure out what happened to LaMarcus. Did LaMarcus die in the Turks and Caicos, or did he just pass out and he's gonna come back and then he'll die on out in the next season? We see that Aunt Viv is pregnant. Will's mom has a new boo. Well, she's had this boo for a while because Will has been in Bel Air, so he wouldn't know that she had a boo. But she has a boo. She's running off in the sunset. They done kidnap Will, child, because Will does not mind the business that pays him. He is everywhere but where he needs to be. So he done got himself involved in kidnapping. He's being kidnapped. So I don't know how that is going to affect them finding Jeffrey or not. Looks like Carlton is pretty good. Looks like Lisa is doing pretty good. But the big things that we're coming into the new season is who kidnapped Will. Well, we know who kidnapped Will, but will Jeffrey come back to help get Will back? Will we be burying LaMarcus? And Aunt Viv telling everybody that she's pregnant. She thought she was about to be an empty nester, but baby, she pregnant. She finna have her little. What was the little baby's name? Was the baby named Jeffrey? I don't know why I want to say the little baby was named Jeffrey, but I'm not sure what the little baby's name on the Fresh Prince was. But tell me what y'all think of this season. What did you think about the whole season? Which was your favorite episode? Which one was your favorite episode? I will tell y'all. I think the Black Lotus episode. And then Black Lotus and Pivot were my two favorite episodes. I think that those two episodes were my favorite episodes. What were your favorite episodes? What did y'all feel about this season? I will tell you overall, again, my predictions were my predictions. I predicted that LaMarcus was going to croak, but I thought LaMarcus was going to croak earlier than what he did. I did tell y'all Rehab Bae was a problem, and we found out that she was a problem. I was excited, and I did like the fact that we saw more of Ashley. I am looking forward to her because I think this is going to be her first year in high school. So she's going to be in high school while Will and Carlton are going to be seniors. So I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with that dynamic. I'm looking forward to see the kids as seniors. I'm looking forward to this. What's going to happen? Are the plans that they made for each other, are they going to come to fruition? Is Lisa going to be swimming and all this other stuff? Are all these things going to happen? That's going to be interesting to see. I don't know if they have been because I know after season 1 they were approved for season 2 and season 3. So I don't know if they have a 4th season coming or not. But I'm hoping that they do, and I'm also hoping that they go back to coming out once a week. And if they want to end it, next season, that would be fine. They have enough with them being seniors that they can end it next year. They have enough stuff going on that they can end it as them being seniors next year. Again, this season, I didn't like this accelerated drops, having 2 or 3 episodes dropping at the same time. I mean, I can understand it for the first episode, but I just didn't like it just for going through remainder because it made it difficult to review. I ain't gonna hold you. It just made it difficult to review because you're having to review all of these shows at one time and trying to remember all of these shows at one time. So I didn't like that. I hope they go back to their one episode a week kind of bid. I wanted to go over so I'm starting to watch this. Oh, I'm still sharing. Hold on, y'all. So I'm gonna watch Fight Night, the $1 Million Heist. I think that there's this is season 1, episode 1. It's a limited series from what I understand. And it says new episodes on Thursday. And that's why I was telling you at the top of the show that, I think that they were giving this accelerated drop for Bel Air because of this particular show. And maybe they wanted the Bel Air watchers to fall over into this. But I I don't think you needed that because, I mean, good Lord, you have Kevin Hart, Taraji P. Henson, Terrence Howard, you have Samuel L. Jackson, you have Chloe, she's in this, you have Terrence Howard in here. You have a whole bunch of powerhouse people all to themselves that are in this production. So I don't think you really needed to have done Bel Air the way that you've done to be able to promote this particular show. But I'll be watching and I'll be reviewing. It looks like a good time. It's set back in the 70s, so at the least I'm gonna see my favorite colors rolling through there. Them burnt oranges, those greens, and all that stuff. You remember back that 70s brown look. That is something about that era and that look. Everything was gritty. So, but everybody has the great fashion. So I'm looking forward to be going over and to go over all of those types of things. So are y'all gonna be watching Fight Night? I'm gonna watch Fight Night. I'm gonna, even if I just watch it for the enjoyment of it, y'all. I'll let you know. If I put a video up, then I'm gonna review it. But we're gonna see, because it looks like it looked like it might be a good time since it's based on a true story. So it's loosely based on a true story. All right, people. We do this every week. I will be putting up, I'm going to watch Reasonable Doubt now. I'm going to go in here and relax and go watch Reasonable Doubt. I'll put that review up tomorrow. And I'm going to watch Fight Night. And at the least, I'll just come back and tell you my thoughts about it. At the least, if I choose not to review it and just watch it for enjoyment, I'll do that. But at the least, I'll just tell you what my initial thoughts are about that. So again, I've told y'all, Stunt Shows and Shenanigans, it's on hiatus, and it won't be back until, after my birthday, because this is my birthday month. And so after my birthday shenanigans and all stuff, because every weekend I'm doing something for my birthday up until the 25th. The 25th of this month is my birthday. So I'm gonna be doing all kinds of weekend shenanigans. Don't know. And see, I'm an introvert, so my weekend shenanigans could be finding a good movie, going out to eat, going to a restaurant, doing whatever it is. I don't know what my birthday shenanigans are gonna do, but I'm gonna be up and doing my birthday shenanigans. So again, we do this every week. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Please share this video if you care. Please tell a friend, tell a kin. Y'all tell that coworker or that helper that you can't stand that I'm over here making these videos. And as always, people, bye-bye.